POV Italian Cooking, where you see cooking from my point of view. This episode we're doing something a little different. Not actually going to cook, but I kind of wanted to go into the history of one of the most popular ingredients for all Italian food. It's almost, olive oil. It's in almost every Italian dish. It's got a pretty interesting history. Before we get started, I do want to point out one thing. The good folks at Bellucci did send me some olive oil to try, and I told them I'd put it in one of my videos. Their oil is 100% Italian, so they sent me their standard Italian, their organic Italian, and then they have a Tuscan Italian. Thank you to the good folks at Bellucci. Let's start by talking about the olive tree. The olive tree it's actually an evergreen. So it's in the same classification as your pine tree, your Christmas trees. The olive tree started as a wild tree. It originated in Asia Minor, pretty much around Greece. And they're a pretty hardy tree. They can pretty much handle anything. Drought. The one thing they can't handle very well at all is cold weather. Olives decompose really quickly, so that when they become ripe, they got to get them out of the tree. And then they have to be packaged or pressed, or they just rot. Olives can range in color from olive green. Imagine that, olive green olives. To like almost a red or to a deep purple. There's a real big variety of cooking oils. Olive oil is probably the healthiest of those cooking oils. It is rich in monosaturated fatty acid, which is considered the healthy fat, the healthy dietary fat. Your bad fats are your saturated fats or your trans fats. You'll find that in a lot of your real heavy cooking oils, your lard. Lard tastes really good when you cook with it, but it's really not that good for you. So since olive oil has a monosaturated fat, some folks will say that it lowers your bad cholesterol and raises your good cholesterol. Now that might just be because you're replacing what is a bad fat with a good fat. So some studies will tell you that it doesn't raise it, it's just you're eliminating a bad one. Some studies show that people who regularly consume olive oil are less likely to have cardiovascular disease, hypertension, hyperlipidemia. A study that was recently published to the Scientific Journal of Diabetes Care showed that a Mediterranean style diet, which is of course high in olive oil, can reduce the type 2 diabetes by almost 50% over what would be considered an American low-fat diet. As of late, olive oil has been studied by different cancer researchers because there's two micronutrients in it called squalene and lignans, which seem to have some impact on lowering the risk of cancer, particularly cancer of the respiratory tract, the upper digestive tract, and to a lower extent the lower digestive tract, and breast cancer. Those cancer studies did identify a phytonutrient within olive oil that kind of mimics ibuprofen in that it lowers inflammation. The Mediterranean region is real rich in history. Olives were turned into an olive oil, or really olive oil production started about 6000 BC. Now they didn't have presses when they first started harvesting olives for olive oil. What they would do is they would put the olives in a big vat and crush them and just do the best they could with crushing them, and then they would leave them sit. The oil would float to the top and the water would go to the bottom, and they would keep draining the water out of the bottom until they were left nothing with but the crushed olives and the olive oil, and then they would strain out the olives. Olive oil presses were a relatively modern invention. They were first developed around 1000 BC. They were kind of crude. It was essentially a round rock that they would roll across the olives that was kind of surrounded by a moat that would collect the olive oil. Really the liquid, it was olive oil and water. There's some other old presses that were essentially a heavy rock, a flat rock on a long lever that they would just place the olives underneath and just crush them with the weight of the rock. During this time, olive oil, of course, was still used for cooking. It was also used for cosmetics, soaps, and pharmaceutical items. And it was used a lot for lamps, because, of course, no electric in 6000 and 1000 BC. Some of the lamps were really crude. They kind of looked like a bowl with a wick that was sticking out the side of them. Some of them were kind of looked like the old genie lamps with the wick coming out of the spout. Today, olive oil is farmed commercially throughout the Mediterranean, some in the southern U.S. as well. Now, the largest producers of olive oil today, now this is in order, and I'm going to read this, is Spain, Tunisia, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Portugal, Syria, and Morocco. Now in the United States, it's produced primarily in California, but also some in Arizona and Texas. The highest quality olive oil does come from Italy. It has a lot to do with the weather, primarily the soil. The oil cities in Italy are Lucca, Florence, and Siena in Tuscany, but it's also produced very heavily in Apulia and Calabria region. Even though that olives are farmed commercially, many still hand-pick the olives. It's very traditional. They have a rake, and it's almost like they're raking the tree of the olives, and they place a soft mat down around the bottom of the tree for the olives to fall in. There are some commercial means of harvesting olives. One of them is a tractor that kind of pulls up to the tree, and it has a long arm, and from that long arm it looks like an umbrella comes out around it, and it shakes the tree, and the olives fall down into that umbrella and are kind of funneled down to where they're picked up. Once harvested, remember olives do decompose quickly, so once they are harvested, generally within a day or two they are pressed. Presses are very modern. The best oil is the cold pressed oil. The production of olive oil in the Mediterranean is regulated. We'll talk more about why it has to be regulated, but in the Mediterranean, the International Olive Council, the IOC, governs 95% of the international production, and where it doesn't have direct oversight, it does have a lot of influence. You'll see some olive oil has an origin label on it, especially those that are from different areas of the Mediterranean, and that's regulated by the European Union. You know, their charge is to ensure that if an olive oil has an origin label that says Greece or says Tuscany, that in fact is the region that it comes from. Now, the olive oil that is produced in the United States does not fall under regulation from the IOC, and of course not from the European Union. It is regulated by the Department of Agriculture. The reason we have all of these organizations with oversight on olive oil production is because the adulteration of olive oil is widespread and is partly done by organized crime in Italy and across the Mediterranean. When you purchase olive oil, you need to pay very close attention to the labeling, because a lot of times you'll pick up an olive oil and on the front it'll say that it is produced in Italy. But on the back or somewhere in very small print it'll say that it was pressed in Italy, but also includes olives from Greece, Tunisia, or other countries in the Mediterranean. And this is done because the olives from these other countries outside of Italy are cheaper, they're lower quality. In addition to mislabeling olives from their country of origin, it's also common to mislabel olive oil as to its quality. Now, your highest quality olive oil, of course, is the extra virgin olive oil. And in November of 2015, the regulators found that several companies were mislabeling extra virgin olive oil when it did not meet the requirements to even be considered a virgin olive oil. Just 1 month later, in December of 2015, the police in Italy found 7,000 tons of olive oil that was really phony. It was marked as Italian, and much of it was bound for America, and these olives were produced in northern Africa. They were not processed as traditional extra virgin olive oil. In fact, they were deodorized with chemicals and rebranded, labeled in large vats as being extra virgin. Be careful when you buy your olive oil. Find a brand you like, find one that's got a good collar, that tastes good, from a company you feel you can trust and study, and stick with that company. Before we start talking about the different types of olive oil, extra virgin, virgin, cold press, and we start taking a look at some of these, let's first talk about how you should store olive oil. First off, heat, air, and light are enemies of olive oil. You should always store your olive oil in a dark or a solid colored glass bottle. Should be airtight. Store it in a cool cabinet where there is no light. You should never store extra virgin olive oil in your refrigerator. Now, unlike wine, olive oil does not get better with age. You're probably going to get your best olive oil within 3 to 4 months after pressing. Usually after about a year, it starts to degrade, it loses all of its nutrients, and its flavor is greatly reduced. Now, unfortunately, most companies do not label their olive oil with the date of origin. Okay, now it's time to take a closer look at our olive oil. Again, I want to thank the folks from Bellucci. They sent me what they call their Bloggers Pack, which is it contains an organic premium extra virgin olive oil, a Tuscan olive oil, and just their premium extra virgin olive oil. Now, as you see here, that all of their olive oil is 100% Italian. They actually have a number that you can trace to the source, and on their Tuscan olive oil, you'll see that they call out what is called the Ruti app. And with this app, you can input these numbers, and it's going to tell you exactly where the olive oil came from. Another thing I really like about the way they package their olive oil is they tell you what season the olive oil is from as well. I'm not going to open all three of these. What we are going to open up is we're going to take a look at the Tuscan olive oil in just a second. Now, this olive oil, I buy my olive oil in the big tins. I try to buy a good quality olive oil. You'll see here that the olive oil is kind of slightly green. Now, this olive oil that I buy, it says right on the front, packaged in Italy, but on the back it does contain olives from, I believe, Morocco and Greece. Let's take a look at this Tuscan olive oil. I'm going to use this later today in something that I'm cooking. I'm making some ragu. You'll see here they've got a good, kind of a green tint to this olive oil. Now, I'm really excited about this because I've been looking for a good Tuscan olive oil. It's good. Wow, that has a really, really nice kind of peppery flavor. It's real aromatic. Smells really good. Now, the stuff I buy in the big tins, again, it's not a bad quality. It's not 100% Italian like these. The Tuscan olive oil is real peppery. This would be perfect for like a caprese salad. Something where you really want the flavor of the olive oil to come through. So this episode was a little different. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do this with a few other Italian ingredients going forward, just every now and then, just for change, just for something different. Again, I want to thank the folks at Bellucci. There'll be a link right here at the bottom of the screen that you can click on and go right to the Bellucci website. Check them out. Great quality olive oil. Thanks for watching POV Italian Cooking. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're on Snapchat now. Also, most importantly, click subscribe on YouTube so that way you'll know anytime we upload a new episode. Thanks for watching, and ciao!